Welcome back, everybody, to ByteSized Talks. Today, we're going to change it up a little bit and have a Freaky Friday. Today, we'll be talking about Junko Furuta and her horrific murder, as well as McKamey Manor and how you can win $20,000 by going through the haunted house.
Hey everybody, welcome back to ByteSized Talks. This is an FM Friday episode. For the sake of the holiday season of October, Halloween, we're going to get into some things that are a little bit more cryptic, a little creepy, a little scary, a little freaky. As always, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Gary, aka Hempy. With us is Julian. Say what's up, man.
Hey everybody, this is Jupe. Hope everybody's doing well and get ready for this Freaky Friday. We got some interesting topics today.
Yeah, so before we get to the two big ones that you outlined, I saw this on Facebook. There's a PhD student in Florida who was complaining. I guess his neighbors upstairs, like their townhouse or condos or whatever.
Yeah.
This upstairs neighbors just had a baby. What do babies do?
A cry?
They're crying. They're making noise, right?
Yeah.
Imagine the parents are having to get up in the middle of the night, walk them. So maybe that's noise inside the two units. What?
Fuck, is he a dog way? Did you say walk him?
Walking, cabrón, like.
Oh, I thought you said to walk the baby. I was like, what the fuck?
I mean, kind of. You have to hold them, and sometimes, like that's not abnormal. I didn't say fucking leash them, But I guess this PhD student had enough of this noise and was trying to take matters into his own hands. And he was caught on a hidden camera that the father had set up after a couple of days of the house just smelling weird. Man, the house has this really bad chemical smell. I don't know what's going on. And he actually called the landlord. Landlord came out, had plumbers come out and check it out. And they replaced the water heater, checked out everything. They couldn't figure it out. This hidden camera found the guy filling a syringe and squeezing it underneath the door. He was releasing methadone and something else. I can't remember the other compound. But yeah, dude, some like opioid, like narcotic level chemicals.
Shit.
Yeah, he was a chemistry major. That's another point. He was a chemistry major. So he had access to this stuff. So he was, I don't know if the intent was for lethality or like just intoxication to kind of give everybody a buzz upstairs. But yeah, we got to watch out for those neighbors, man. Never fucking know. Yeah. Could you imagine that though? Like just your neighbor, like it's not even a direct assault, just a very like chemical warfare is what.
Very subtle, is. Yeah. Well, I've no in my rancho. there was people that would purposefully add what do you call it, the engine coolant to water, so that when dogs would come to their house, they drink that water thinking it was something sweet, something good for them, drink it, and then eventually they would die.
Yeah,
little shit like that just people would do just to be dicks, basically.
When I was in high school, there's a guy on the wrestling team who was super into like some like wilderness type shit. Like,
yeah,
he was a dude who like was notorious. Like the dude is yoked, like, jacked, like, and like people would see him like at like this one like hiking trail. Like he would like they saw him like, oh yeah, I saw him running down the hill. And, like once he got to the bottom, he like took his backpack off and like took out like these 10 stones out of it. Like he would like fill up his backpack with rocks to run up the hill with.
Shit.
Yeah, the dude, and he was like, so he was a year ahead of me, and I only beat him once in wrestling in like the 2 years that I wrestled with him.
Yeah.
And the only time I beat him is it was a drill, and I had started off. The coach had us like perpendicular, so like at a 90-degree angle, chest to chest, and the coach was like, okay, when I blow the whistle, the person on the bottom has to try to escape. The other guy tried to pin him. And dude, I just sunk in my arm, got it behind his neck, and I cranked, like. And dude, I there's nothing he could do. Like I sunk up that arm perfectly. And dude, he's there, and the coach is like, "Get up, get!" He's yelling at the guy because that guy was like next level wrestler. He's like, "Get up!" I can't. He got me. Well, you hear that? And dude, I tap out, dude. I'm slapping the mat. I'm making a scene because this is the only time I ever beat this guy. He kicked my ass 2.5 hours every day for for like 2 years. So I
Holy
was so
shit.
happy. Yeah, dude, it sucked wrestling that guy. I never had a chance. And dude, I threw that one day back in his face as only like a little brother could, dude. Just multiple times a week. Hey Robert, remember that one time I fucked you up? And that he's like, dude, you had the biggest advantage. I don't care. A win's a win. I don't care. Like, um,
I don't know how we got to that story, but
yeah. I don't know either. Now that I think about it.
yeah, I was like, we're talking about guys putting chemicals in babies' places and dogs dying. This guy pulls out a wrestling
Oh
story.
shit! Yeah. So yeah. Tangent. That guy, when he was there, like one day we're waiting for the bus, and there's a car that was leaking some fluid, and he goes, "Oh, I think that's antifreeze." He goes up, like puts his finger on it, tastes it. He's like, "Yep." It's like, what the fuck? The antifreeze kind of tastes like gravy. I was like, how the fuck do you know that? It was kind of common knowledge, and I'm like, no, it's not. Yeah, but there was somebody, I won't name him, but in Socorro, he lived in a part of town. I guess there's just a bunch of stray dogs, and he was tired of getting chased home by these dogs
Yeah.
to the point where he was having like PTSD about these freaking like dogs chasing him.
Shit.
And he was saying, he's like, yeah, I'm pretty close to buying some beef and like injecting it with antifreeze. Just to, like these people need to fucking put their dog. Like it's fucking ridiculous. I'm not gonna get bit by one of these fucking dogs. Like, um. So yeah, man, that's wild. Yeah, and that's fucked up to do that. But again,
Yeah.
like, dude, dogs will kill people. Like, wild
Yeah.
dogs,
Yeah. They will.
like feral dog. Like we forget, like they like especially like you would look at something like a even like a Labrador, be like, dude, like if that thing got mean, if it wanted like to get you, like you would have to be a pretty good shape and pretty strong to fight off a 80-pound pissed off dog.
Dude,
Like,
a fucking pit bull when they're pissed off. Joe Rogan talked about this, how his pit bull literally broke the bars of his fence or bent the bars of his fence and went after a dog. If he wouldn't have been outside, he would have killed that other dog.
oh, dude, I mean, I believe. I mean, I had a dog named Wyatt, as Julian knows. He took care of him for me for a while, but that dog was stronger than he, like, than his own good, and like he, like, it didn't matter how old he was. If we were on a walk, like if something came out, like he was
Yeah,
muscling up, and yeah, man, just the power those dogs can have, and you really, and like especially
yeah,
those pits, like they're bred to. It's not necessarily that they don't feel pain, but they're able to overwrite the pain to do what like their masters want them to
yeah,
do, and
yeah.
that's why they've been able to be manipulated so well, and like in like game fighting and stuff like that. Um, but dude, yeah,
All
let's
right. Let's start with your haunted house after that giant ass
yeah.
tangent.
So I don't know. I think we all know somebody who's a little weird and like they're in overly into horror films.
Yeah.
Uh, Got to make sure I say horror correct because I have a friend. That's like a word like she's like
What'd you call me?
horror. Yeah, no. Hey, no. Never called her that. She has a hard time saying. She's like, I never like to talk about those movies. I feel like I'm saying horror films. Like that's explicit for a whole nother reason. But um, yeah, those people who are into like those gore movies, like I watched Saw X, which the review will be on our next video for the Monday's video. But dude, I was watching that shit like this. Ooh, I just so and other people there just eating pop. I was like, God damn, is it over? Is it over? Counting ceilings and ceiling tiles.
You
Fuck, dude.
just
And I
pour
was, and I,
Tapatio into the popcorn, like
dude,
perfect.
yeah, dude. I was just sitting there and I was like, I paid for this. God damn. Like, which I'll throw this out there. Regal Theaters right now between the now and the 13th. If you buy a 1 year pass, you save $60.
Oh shit, that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
So
God, they
it's
paying you
essentially
for
like
this shit?
what?
They paying you for this shit
No.
that I don't know about?
So, but yeah, so it's about $20 a month. Um, so of your the full price would be 240 for the year, but since you say that 60 would be like 180.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you go to the movies, like go get the pass, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, McKamey Manor. So yeah, if I was to tell you, hey Julian, there's a haunted house that if you're able to go through it and abide by all the rules, you could win up to 20 grand. What would you say?
Sign me up.
Okay, you would say sign you up. A couple rules. They have like they'll have like challenges, right?
Okay.
Every challenge you don't complete removes $500 from what you would win.
Okay.
Okay. Every time you curse removes $500 from what you'd win.
Oh shit. Okay. I'll fuck that.
Yeah, you just lost $1,000 right there.
Yeah.
Right, and
It's like
that's
my
not even something
family's
like,
love
"Wah!"
language
Right?
is saying bad words. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's fucking cool. God damn it. Oh shit. Like, so let's check out a couple things about it. In order to do said, so this place is called McKamey Manor, McKamey Manor. You have to have a sports physical done prior to being able to do this. You have to be able to perform a drug test to make sure you're not under the influence of anything the day that you go through this. You have to sign a 40-page waiver.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the waiver says things like they can touch you, but you can't touch them. Uh, Objects may fall on you or hit you that may cause injury and death, even broken bones. Da 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 da
Oh
da.
shit.
You cannot. There's no quitting unless you're at serious risk, like you're gonna die. You can't even say like, "Oh, I'm too scared to move on," or "I'm having a panic attack." Like you legit would have to have like a heart attack for
Oh
them
damn.
like to pull you from this. They're able to use things like syringes, needles
Okay.
to like poke you with, inject you, right?
Oh,
Like
they'll inject you?
I don't know, or maybe there's like draw blood or like whatever. It just says hypodermic needles.
If they
Uh,
inject you with something, that's kind of sketchy. If
but
they
like
pull
even
blood, I mean, whatever.
they're able to use zappers, tasers, and even dog shock collars on you.
Sounds like a good
Yeah.
time.
Who hurt you, Cabron? um, and also they perform a background check, I guess, to make sure um uh you're not crazy, or maybe I'd be worried that you get someone like Jocko or something who's like some Navy SEAL. It's like,
Oh
dude,
yeah.
whatever you do to me, I'm gonna come back and mess you up. But the crazy part about it, dude, is like they claim they have like a 20,000 person waiting list, right? I think that's so
Oh
like
shit.
people
Yeah.
want to sign up and like they try to squeeze you in. There
Yeah.
really isn't. That's part of like their apparently that's part of their like their scam.
Marketing.
But yeah, it's but yeah, just think about like people like who go through it. Like I don't think anybody's ever collected money from it. But dude, they'll shave your eyebrow, they'll shave your head. You'll end up like having to crawl under crab, getting all these cuts and scrapes. I would say the only thing that probably compares to it to an extent would be like I don't know if you know like the special forces guys. They have to go through what's called like SEER,
No, what's
uh,
that?
like survive, escape, um, SEER, evade, or something, right? Like
Okay.
it's all about surviving. If you ever get caught by the enemy, how to
Oh,
survive
I see.
interrogation and stuff. So like every special forces dude has to go through that, and like it's one of those things like they'll lock you in a crate and have babies crying like on music on a loop, you know.
Oh
So
shit.
like yeah, like it really tries to fuck with you and they try to break you and try to
Yeah.
get information. So that's what these guys do. And they claim like, oh no, it's this huge thing, but really they just like take you to some dude's house and him and his buddies, and like he records it all, um, showing people breaks. So like there's YouTube videos of what he does, and like, dude, it's freaking horrific what
Damn.
they do. Yeah, it's crazy. And like people sign up for it. There's people who are like into those extreme horror films. And this isn't like Universal Horror Fest or whatever it's called, or Not Scary Farm,
Yeah.
where it's just it's a normal jump scare type of a thing. Like this is like in your face, putting dirty rags down your mouth, spitting on you, like beating you up. It's not. It's more. It's torture
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what it
It's
is, but it's
basically
under the umbrella of that it's a haunted house.
damn.
But dude, I remember when I heard the same thing. I'm like, dude, like it can't be that bad. Like,
Yeah, I guess once it gets to torture, that's not
yeah.
it's not it's not a haunted house.
Anything where it's like they can break your bones, not like it's potentially going to happen. Like anybody who's ever gone bungee jumping or something, like there's that risk.
Yeah.
But that's like an extreme event, if something happened. This is like we're gonna do a bunch of like we're purposely gonna try to hurt you.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. So right now it's like the season of Halloween, um, and going to these things. And I mean, I think I used to enjoy them a lot more when I was younger. I haven't been to a haunted house recently.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know of how much I would enjoy it now. If it's anything like that Saw movie, oh, I just like, dude,
How
I
much does
just
this the haunted house charge for you to go?
so I couldn't find. I don't think I had a number on that. Um, I know they used to say like you'd have to bring like 5 bags of dog food for like because like they do a thing with like rescued greyhounds. I don't know if
Thought
that's
that's what you were
still
gonna eat.
probably like maybe even like that might be a thing they do.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's also like you have to make like a $500. But it's not a fee. It's you make a donation, and this will enable you and your party to go through it. And here's the other thing: they only allow like 2 people to do it at a time.
Oh, you can't go like a group of 10 people or something?
Yeah, because dude, after 10, they'd be like, dude, fuck these guys. Let's fuck them up. Like,
Yeah.
like, dude, if you're there and like they're punking you in front of your girlfriend, you might just start trying to throw punches back. But if it's only you and your girl, like, and there's 4 of them, so I think
Yeah.
that's something they do very much to protect themselves on their number, because there's just a few of them. But like, if you look into it, it's pretty fucked up, dude. The stuff that they do to people.
Yeah, it just sounds
Uh,
like torture, honestly.
that's what it is. It's a waiver. I think a lot of the people I've heard in the past, like the people they hire are all like ex convicts and like, um, not to say that everybody's gone to prison is a terrible person, but like people who enjoy, you know, hurting things. I guess
Yeah.
would be a broad way of putting it. But like, dude, at the end, like they kind of gaslight these people and be like, "Oh, well, so what do you think?" Like, "Oh, I appreciate that you guys pushed me beyond like my normal
Nah,
limit." You know?
sure, but
Yeah, like everybody, like they buy off it, but they all sign like NDAs. If they break it, they'll get sued for like $50,000. So,
ah,
uh,
shit.
yeah, and like
They
if
they
people
got
like
they have to have a pretty good legal team.
I don't. It's one. I went down the rabbit hole a little bit on this today, and I
Yeah.
think it's just one of those things. Like most of the people aren't gonna like. They have a strong enough thing in place that like, um, because the thing is like the guy who runs it, like the guy that something McKamey, I forget his first name. He doesn't. He's like, I never touched them, but he's the one with
Yeah.
the camera right there. Oh, why
Uh,
you shouldn't have done this? And like he shows them signing the waiver. He's like, you shouldn't do
uh,
this. You shouldn't be doing this. Like you don't want to do this. And people are like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll give it a try. Um, but
sounds
these are
like
the
peer
people who like
pressure.
really enjoy those horrific gore movies, and which I saw a thing. I'll just to change up a slight thing before you bring us down with your sad ass story, your creepy story. I saw this thing where like people were driving through this neighborhood, and it's one of those houses that goes way, or goes all out on like decorations. So they
Yeah.
had a corner lot, a corner house, and dude, it's filled up with every little creepy statue thing you could put. And the people are like, "Oh my god!" They're like, "How can you live in this house?" And in my head, I was like, "This is probably the only time you can like. How could you sleep if you live in that house?" I was like, "This is probably the only time you can sleep in that house because the rest of the year that shit's inside the house."
Yeah. Oh shit.
This is the only time the house is nice inside, or otherwise that shit's
Yeah.
just like jam packed. Um, but yeah,
All
you
right.
have a story. I guess it's from like the 1970s about some girl who was
So
held captive or something.
yeah, so her name was Junko Furuta, and I'm gonna say the names of the people, but I won't use them after that because I can't keep up with the
Yeah,
names. They're Japanese. So Junko Furuta was a teenage girl, 17 at the time, who was attending a high school. Um, and she lived with her parents, lived with her older brother, had a fairly normal life.
this is in Japan.
Um, Japan, yeah. And this is 1988. She was born in 1971, so 17 years old. Um, so one day there's these group of boys that decide to kidnap women and steal their stuff and all that. Names of the boys were Hiroshi Miyano, Jo Ogura, Shinji Minato, Yasushi Watanabe. And that's the last time I'm saying those names because I
So,
cannot pronounce them.
have you seen the thing where like people called into like the news show with like the fake names of the pilots of like an airline that crashed, and they're
No.
like, it was one of the flights from like from one of those South Pacific countries,
Yeah.
and like, oh, we have the name of the pilot and the crew. It's like something wrong, we too low, bang the owl, like it's just like somebody had written them an email like, oh hey, we got the names, and like they totally went for it, and like the name, it's a funny clip. But yeah, back
All
to
right. So
girl who's
I'll throw
being
some
kidnapped
creepy
by these
music
four
on.
boys.
I'll throw some creepy music on for this one. So
You better not be your spooky, creepy skeletons.
I listened to that thing for like 10 hours. Holy shit. Anyways. So these boys decided to go and kidnap girls and steal their belongings. Unfortunately, one of these girls was Junko, and she was kidnapped on the 25th of November. Okay, fucked it up. All right.
Well, you said, I thought like you're gonna like do it right now, so I was like, I was gonna say it's not playing. Like,
Oh, God. All right. So Miyano and Minato wandered around in Misato with the intention of robbing and raping local women. They ended up kidnapping Junko Furuta, and took her back to their house. They decided it'd be fun to play around with her, torture her a little bit,
yeah,
a little crazy in the mind. And one of the boys decided to just keep her there for it in the meanwhile. And a week goes by, and her parents are wondering where she is, what's going on. And the boy decides to force her to say that she is his girlfriend, and to have her call her parents and say, you know what, I am fine, I am happy where I'm at, don't look for me anymore. So police said, you know what, she's with her boyfriend, she doesn't want to come back, there's not much we can do. So this continues on for quite a few days, where these boys rape her and torture her by burning her, barely feeding her. And it got to the point where they would invite people, like 10 guys, to come and rape the girl. And they would force her to stay there, shackle her to the floor. And you would think, where's his parents? Why aren't they saying anything? The parents were scared of the boy. They didn't want to interfere. They heard these things going on. They did not want to interfere. They were that scared of the boy. So it got to the point where she was 40 days in and malnourished, tortured, smelling of feces, terrible situation, to the point where the boys felt disgust towards her. They didn't feel that attraction anymore, so they were just having her like a animal. They decide to burn her body and throw rocks at her, all while just leaving her there until she dies. They ended up throwing her in a barrel, put cement in it, and just threw it away. So that's 44 days. So from 25th of November to the 4th of January of 1989 that this girl was basically being tortured, raped, and everything you can think of. Eventually, yes, the boys got caught. They went to jail. And this made the rounds back in 2013 again, simply because they were let out. Um, Unfortunately, they weren't in jail for that long. Some of the boys were repeat offenders and went back to jail, but I think one of them, again, I don't know his name, is actually just avoiding the limelight, and he no longer does any crime. But dude, what is it? 1989 to 2013. That's 24 years of
Hmm.
jail. 24 years for the amount of torture and disgusting things that they did to this girl. I don't think it's enough time. I think they should have gone to death penalty.
Dude, when he told me this, I was like, Julian told me that like the initial premise before we started recording, and I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, she's gonna get out. I've been watching too many movies, so like she's gonna get out and like
No,
go
dude.
back and like murder these kids, or
Yeah.
like there was no bright side to that at all.
There
I
is
was
no bright side to
like,
this
there's
story, dude.
goddamn. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
waiting
this
for
is
like a little bit of redemption, like she escaped and was able to get the attention of a
no.
neighbor. Um, so, so she wasn't their only victim, but the only
No.
victim that they kept for extended
This
amount of
was the only
time.
victim, yeah, that they kept for an extended amount of time. And it's known as the worst crime of its kind in the history, because of how long she was there, because of how they manipulated her family, because of the way she died, and all these other things that happened while she was kept captive.
So when you say it's known as the worst, that like of Japanese history or like
I think it's more of, it was this 17-year-old girl who was going to high school and had a part-time job, and so it's such a sad ending of someone who was full of life in a sense. You hear about these stories about serial killers, yes, but dude, this one's like, damn, like there's no bright side to this.
yeah, uh, that's oddly similar to the story I have for us next week about this guy named David Parker Ray, aka the Toy Box Killer. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, but yeah, all that stuff. I mean, that sounds like what you described. Almost sounds like one of those very uh, I don't want to say anticlimactic. One of those ones that are like an episode of Criminal Minds, towards just like
Yeah, that's
like there
exactly what I
was
was thinking. Yeah.
there was no rescue at the end. It's just one of those ones that like you watch after, and you're like, damn, that sucked. Like there is no like payoff of like of like doing the right thing and fighting the good fight, like surviving. It's just like that poor girl would have
No,
been better
dude.
off dying the first day. You know?
Yeah, yeah, dude, and the way she died, just lighter fluid being poured on her, set on fire, and then throwing rocks at her. Dude, it's a wild ending. It's like
Yeah.
those guys were heartless.
Um, there's a interesting theory about like serial killers, the why there's like so many that like kind of popped up in the 70s and 80s. Um, and it's because like they were raised by a generation of men who went to war.
No, really.
Who, yeah, like they. So when they came home, it wasn't you're in timeout as lock you in my foot locker and
Oh
like
shit.
you know what I'm talking about, like horrific like
I mean, this
uh
is 1989. This is after the World War II, just 1945 that it ended. So yeah, dude, Japan went through some wild shit in the 1940s.
yeah. So think about it, like let's say a young kid was raised like he was born lived post World War II. His dad was a survivor, PO. Like I don't think it could have been a POW. It wasn't as I don't think that we treated the Japanese POWs as bad as they treated our guys. Um, but like could have been just some guy who was just abused by his father, who was traumatized during the war. We didn't. They used to just
Yeah.
call PTSD shell shocked. Oh, that guy's shell shocked.
Yeah.
You know that guy like just like that guy's seen some shit. Like,
Shit.
yeah. And they're saying like that's a reason why we might have so many serial killers. Because yeah, just they had horrific childhood traumas, and it's a nature. There's always a question of it's nature or nurture,
Yeah.
and I think there's cases of both or like of either. There's some people who are just they're wired wrong. They grew up in a
Yeah.
perfectly fine household. Nothing to them ever happened. They just had a circuit that was backwards.
Yeah.
And I think there's other people who were groomed, exposed to things that make them into monsters.
Yeah.
Uh, so it'd be interesting if they ever did like a psychological profile of his upbringing, the main kid of the story,
Yeah.
uh, not the victim, but the main abuser. If
And that's what I
he,
wonder too. The parents were scared of the kid. How scary could this kid have been? He was
yeah,
maybe 17, 18, and the parents to
the,
be scared of him. Holy shit.
maybe like if he got mad, he went Super Saiyan.
You're fucking idiot. Had to crack a joke somewhere in there.
Yeah, we needed a little levity, cabrón. This thing was dragging. Dragon Ball Z, cabrón.
That's stupid.
Oh,
Might have to add a disclaimer on this video before
I
the
think we
video.
will. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been having some pasta this week, and I thought of a pretty good like stupid joke.
What's that?
Um, what I'm pretty sure that's the name of a pasta. Okay, I think I froze for a second. Um, but what type of pasta
Yeah,
makes
you did. I'll
Chicanas
edit that out.
laugh? Oh shit!
What type of pasta makes Chicanas laugh? I don't know. Which one?
Fusilli way.
That's fucking stupid. That's a fucking dad joke.
Yeah.
Oh god.
uh,
Oh shit.
yeah. But I think that'll be a nice point to leave this off on a stupid
Yeah.
joke rather than that. Yeah, obviously, this week's episode has a little bit more heavier matter, things that are again along the spooky, freaky side of things. But next week, I don't know what Julian will have cooked up for us, but I'll tell the story about this serial killer that was uh, he operated in the Elephant Butte and like Truth or Consequence areas of New Mexico,
Oh, okay.
uh, which is for
Fucking
those
middle of nothing. That's what it is.
for the rest of the world. That's somewhere between Albuquerque and like El Paso, Texas, like right in the middle of those. And if you
Yeah.
don't know where those are, just in the middle of New Mexico. But yeah, it's about this guy, Parker or David Parker Ray, who's known as a toy box killer, which you would think here, toy box, who do you think he's killing?
Kids?
Yeah, right. You're thinking it's kids, but
Yeah.
no, he had like this really intense like torture chamber that was like soundproof that he called his toy box.
No shit.
Um, yeah, if you guys look, these are one of my. I'm a big fan of the show Criminal Minds. If you look at season 2, episodes 13 and 23, the storyline of those is similar to this guy. So if you like Criminal Minds, if you have access, I think it's on Netflix. Go check out season 2, episodes 13 and 23. But yeah, we'll talk about David Parker Ray next week, the next F and Friday episode.
Freaky Friday now.
F and Friday, freaky, funky, stupid. But if you guys haven't already, hit like, subscribe. Let us know below if there's a story you would like us to do a little bit of research on, or maybe something that you read and you're like, damn, that was pretty messed up. But other than that, you got anything else, Julian?
That's it. Everybody take care and hit that like and subscribe and stay spooky, everybody.